Welcome to the Matt Beck Podcast. Woke up this way. He's got a lot of cool stuff he's gonna show you today. The latest news, industry topics, and business tips. For all hairstylists and salon owners, it's time to flip the script. Grab your precision scissors, barber combs, and swivel twist razors. Let's cut a bob, a quick shag pixie cut with a little bit of flavor. Check out the live classes, product reviews, let's rock on. Don't forget to check out freesaloneducation.com. I woke up this way. It's gonna be a great day. Chop it, clip it, spray it, flip it. I woke up this way.
What's up? Oh. You better stop. What's up, guys? Welcome to the show. Today is going to be a lot of fun. Got a lot of things planned. We're going to focus on curly hair today, which I know all of you guys are very excited about. So where are you watching from? Let me know in the chat. Also, make sure you hit that share button. Let's share this show so we can get as many people in this room as possible. This show has gotten better every single time. So today, we're hoping for no crashes, no disasters, and just a good time. It's beautiful weather outside here in PA. Where are you guys from? How's your weather? If it's rainy, it's sunny here, and we're gonna have a good time. So, all right. One thing I wanted to talk to you guys about real quick, and then we're gonna get into the video, is that I kind of have something special for you guys, because yesterday after the show, I don't know, this show is just kind of like inspired me to want to create more videos. So not only am I doing this live every day, but I get off here and I'm just kind of like, I just want to keep creating. So I did this shag on wavy haircut. It's kind of a mess. I roughed it up pretty good after the video yesterday, but I did this shag. Pretty cool technique. I have the video ready and I can do a live voiceover. It's on wavy hair, so it's a good medium haircut for wavy hair. And then we're going to get curlier as the show goes on. So do you want to see that video? Do you want me to do the live voiceover? I also have head sheets, which is another thing that I've discovered. So I'm going to totally give this company a plug. It costs $5. I wish I'm not going to make any money off this, but this app right here, it's called Hair Tech. Some of you guys might use it. But it's literally, there we go. You can see head sheets. So those of you guys that are in school or even hairdressers in general, you can literally store your library of head sheets that you create on the app. You draw the lines super easy. So the reason I stopped making head sheets on my videos is I like to make videos often and fast. And to make a head sheet on Photoshop isn't that easy. But on this app, it's super easy. I save it, I send it to my computer, and now in less than 10 minutes, I had a head sheet for the video that I created. So it's $5. It's called Hair Tech. I should come out with an app like that for sure. But super cool, super simple, easy to store all of your head sheets and ideas that you have that you want to try in the salon. You can draw them out, and I'll show you guys what I did with my video coming up. So it seems like you guys are in to listen and watch this video. So that's what we're going to start off with. Make sure that please just do me a favor, share the video, and we're going to have some fun and we're going to talk about it. So let me load up everything here. I see all the familiar names too. Thank you guys for that. All right, cool. I got the head sheet and everything lined up. So here is, we're just going to start out on the video. Now I also, actually, yeah, let me put up this view here. So this is kind of the view that we'll have during this haircut. I'll flip to a wider view if we feel like we need it. But here's the head sheet and the video all together. So I'm going to start the video. So basically what we're doing in this haircut is I'm going to create a horseshoe section on the top all the way around. And I'm going pretty low, almost into the edge of the eyebrow. Because for me, that's where I want to create that disconnection of the layering. So then I go division point down to behind the ear. Notice that matches up. So if I pause this right here, actually go a little bit further, notice how that matches up right behind the ear to the hairline. That's the key on the sectioning for this haircut, is to make sure that as I'm going through and I'm sectioning everything out, the density from that point, from the top point of the head at the parietal ridge down to along the neckline, all is the same density. And then everything forward from that, from the ear forward is all the same density as well. So you got to be aware of that when you're cutting hair. So now I'm moving forward, clip it away, and now I'm going to start working vertical sections in the back. So this is what kind of sparked me wanting to do a head sheet, because it takes away me having to do multiple angles in this video, and it allows you to kind of see where I'm at. So if you look at the sectioning in the back, it's all vertical and it's all going back to the previous. So it's a traveling guide, and the angle of the head is tilted forward. So that plays a key role in this haircut because my finger angle is starting to work its way out of the head shape. So that's going to create a lot of length because of the way that the head curves down, right? So when we talk about cutting on curly hair or wavy hair, the key here is to understand that the lengths are going to shrink. So as I'm going through and cutting, I need to understand that I don't want to build up too much bulk. So I want a nice scooping motion of this haircut so that it's nice and light in the end result. In length, you can always take care of and do things with at the end. So that's kind of the theme of a lot of the haircuts that I do, is that we're going to be cutting from the inside out, the interior out to the exterior line. And then that exterior line can always be adjusted at the end of the cut. Also notice that I'm point cutting this shape, working the round of the head. The reason I'm point cutting is because I want to have a nice light line. Here's the thing that I'm starting to think about a lot as I'm cutting hair is that we cut all these strong lines, which are great, but then, and that gives you a strong shape. But at the end, then we do a lot of point cutting in most cases because not everybody has the perfect density to fit that shape, right? So you got to take into account what the outcome is, what you're looking for. So for me, I wanted a textured, strong shape, but I wanted the line to be soft, not super hard, so that it lays nice and soft in the end result. All right, I see everybody's comments. So if you guys have any questions, post them there. I'd love to answer them as we're going along here. And make sure you hit that share button for me, please. All right, so working through point cutting, still vertical line all the way down and all the way to the end outer perimeter line. Tammy's making breakfast. Good job, Tammy. All right, so the other thing you'll notice is I'm using the fine teeth of the comb. A lot of times I do that if I'm looking to work with a lot of tension. In this particular haircut, because her hair's not super curly, and obviously we're just going for a wavy end result, that's why I'm using the fine teeth. If she had really curly hair, I'd switch to the wide teeth. That's the YS Park 332 comb. I like that comb for creating little tension. I also like it for dry cutting as well. All right. So that's the back. You can see all the layers, how it's kind of exploding out. I like the length, but you could also take that length a little bit. You see the shape, how it builds around the head shape. That's because we cut those layers following the head shape. And now we're going to work into the sides. This is where it gets really interesting. We start to create a disconnection. The reason I wanted to do a disconnection is because obviously the density is different on the sides than it is in the back. So we talked about that. So I take the temple area completely out. So each time, you can see it right there, as I take a section, I'm taking it in half, elevating it, cutting the layering in that, and then I'll show you guys what I do with that disconnection as soon as we finish up the sides. So vertical sections continue through, traveling guide continues, and then that disconnection works right above the ear. So I split it in half just like that, elevate it up, create those concave kind of layers that cave in, and then we work our way to the top there. All right. Fueled by latte in Cali. There you go, Gene. Fueled by latte here in PA as well. All right, so see those disconnections. So now what I'm going to do is just go in slide cutting to remove that extra length. So I don't want to take away too much density, and that's the key to having the disconnection. I just slide in there with the scissor and remove the length. So now we're going to connect the back point, and this is going to be a point that goes straight up towards the head shape. So we're going from short to long, creating length in the front. You could wrap this all the way around if you wanted to, but I wanted to leave a little extra length in there because I'm going to go in with a razor and cut the fringe. So that's really the decision made there. Otherwise, I wouldn't keep that length. If your guest didn't want to have a fringe, then this would be a good way to do it as well. So you could go short to long, keep that length in the front, and then just cut like a face frame around them, because that would preserve that length. It would also create quite a bit of disconnection on the sides, so you're going to have to do something with that as well, which you'll see when we go in to cut the bangs. So everything just coming up, cut from short to long. Thanks, Susan. I appreciate that. All right. So still point cutting. You can see that. I don't want to, I still don't want to create any harsh lines in this cut. So now we've got it all cut through. You can see that disconnection in the front. I do a hand dry. So the whole point of this cut was to do a hand dry to finish it out, because I wanted to be very lived in. I wanted to bring out the natural wave in the hair. So now I go in with the carving comb. I do a 50% carve side of the carving comb, so it's removing only 50% of the hair. I just keep going at it till I get all the way through. What that does is it creates an even softer line. You can see it's a nice long fringe. I like a long fringe. If your guest wants something a little bit shorter, you can customize it that way. And now we're going to finish it off. We're going to add Joico's rose, I think it's rose gold that we put in there, and I just put it all over the head just to bring in some of that fun, there we go. Just to color it, obviously, because I don't want it to be just yellow. So I wanted to spice it up a little bit, add that rose gold in there. So I hope you guys like that video. It will be available on FSE Now, which is our app, coming up today. So I'm going to do a custom voiceover for it. You'll have the head sheet so you can download it. So I love that you guys love it. I can see it in the chat that you do. Let's see. Gene. Yeah, Gene, we got some followers, right? We got to get more people on here live. That's what it's all about. So thank you guys so much for joining me live today for the show. I really appreciate that. I want to see if I can push this graphic. All you have to do is text me at this phone number right here if there's anything you want to see on the show. Also, you can post it in the chat. I can see it there. If you want to request something, I'll try to get it up here on this show. If not, it'll create a subject for another show, which is kind of what we did today. So I got a few more curly hair videos for you guys. If you have any questions about curly hair, this is a good time to post them. We started out wavy. Now we're going to get real curly as we move into these cuts. So I'm going to do a color video coming up after this one. So the first one we're going to do, this is a video from Paul Mitchell. That is a great curly haircut. I think you guys are really going to dig it on long curly hair, which is a highly requested video. So I've got it ready for you guys here. I can't wait to show it to you. So here it is.
This is our haircut inspired by London. Prep the hair with the conditioner. This is a great leave-in product to give a little bit of slip to the hair, especially natural textures. Really helps with the control and the grooming working through your haircut. Create a diamond-shaped section in the crown and clip away. This will be our disconnected zone as we get towards the end of the haircut. The rest of the hair divide with a center parting, and you're going to work with diagonal back sections. You're going to comb that hair forward, and you're going to cut a face framing layered shape. So shorter in the middle, longer towards the outside. As you can see, make sure that the angle of your fingers is consistent and that you maintain that angle through the entire haircut. Grooming it down with a low elevation and cutting short to long. This kind of helps create that layered shape, and the low elevation with the curls helps make sure that we get a really clean shape. If you do need to move the head in any position, feel free to get your model or client involved. You are going to use a consistent line, so you're following that line through the entire side of the haircut, cutting short to long. So grooming all that hair forward in front of the shoulders with a low elevation and cutting short to long. Using the wide teeth of your comb for this grooming, especially when you're dealing with large quantities of hair, make sure that you can get your comb through the hair easily. As you can see, what that layered shape has created a nice clean outline in that front area of the haircut on side number 1. Now go over to side 2. You're going to repeat a similar process. The only thing that's going to change is your hand position. Now your fingertips are going to be angled towards the longer length, where my knuckles are going to be the shorter length. So you could say on this side you are cutting long to short, using a guide in the center for the shortest length. Repeating the same process, using the wide teeth of the comb to groom the hair, especially with that natural texture. It doesn't put too much tension on the hair. Cutting the hair in your fingers. That just makes sure that we are actually pulling all the hair to the same point. So grooming it, all in front of the shoulders. Making sure that angle of our fingers is consistent, because we do want to make sure that both sides are balanced. You're working all the way to the center back, grooming that hair forward, combing it forward, cutting that layered shape in the front. Really starts to open up. You're going to take the hair you've cut now and you're going to groom it all back and clip it away. Now we're going to work in that disconnected zone in the crown. Drop your disconnected zone, divide it in half. Based on texture and density, you may have more hair, you may have less hair. You want to make sure that you take manageable sections. So divide that hair and make sure that you have a horizontal section right through the crown. So you're basically dividing that section in half. You're going to comb the first half all the way forward. Now your length is going to be dictated by texture, density, and limitations. So check your length. Before cutting, you're going to cut a horizontal cutting line. So that elevation is coming off the round of the head, over directed forward, cut with a horizontal cutting line, so a straight across cutting line. Then incorporate the rest of the hair in that disconnected zone only, comb it forward, and cut a horizontal cutting line. As you can see, the elevation is higher than the face framing layered shape. So as you groom that hair forward, make sure that you've got a good even tension between your fingers, cutting that horizontal cutting line. Tension is key when you're working with curly hair, and key meaning that it needs to be consistent. So once you finish that disconnected zone, you can drop all of the hair, see how it all falls together and blends together into one cohesive unit. Now with the product in the hair, you're going to go ahead and wrap sections of the hair around your finger vertically to help create consistent curls in the hair, to really organize the texture. It's important to have your fingertip pointed down when you do that application so that you can pull your finger out of the curl easily. You can place them under a hood dryer, let it air dry. Once it's dry, you're going to go in with a blow dryer. You're going to loosen the texture up. So you've got it organized. Now the blow dryer and working through it with your fingers helps loosen it up and expand it. With a little bit of Stay Strong hairspray from our firm style category, really sets the tone and really seals the deal with that texture. Beautiful end result, inspired by London.
All right, so what'd you guys think of that? Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool video. This is the key thing with curly hair, and I get so many requests for curly haircuts, but people need to understand that curly hair is not a ton different, just the approach to the shape, because any shapes can just get a little bit out of hand. Somebody posted that they cut a Christmas tree shape for the first time when they cut curly hair, and that's really what happens. What happens is we think we have to layer it so much because it's curly, and we need to take out the weight to make it not big, but the more layers you put, the bigger it gets. So interior layers, I think somebody mentioned something about creating interior layers on where is it? Yeah, creating interior layers. Yeah, here it is. Creating interior layers on curly hair. So I'm going to pull that off. Push this back on. Yeah, so Tiffany was saying creating interior layers on curly hair. I don't know if I have a specific video for that. I'll look, but see if any of the companies have it. But one of the cool things about interior layering is that you can keep the top from parietal up. You can keep it nice and long. So if you go inside the hair and remove some of that weight and then let the top fall over, you don't have to have so many short layers. And we talk about that quite often. So I'm glad you guys liked the video. I can see it in the chat. Make sure, please just share this live stream with everyone in it. And also make sure that you go download the FSE Now app. If you're not a part of our community, you should be. The update, I believe, is coming out today. I just got my first notification on the app, which I'm psyched about. You guys don't even understand the process that's happened for us to get this thing going. So the new update's coming today. But if you guys don't know what FSE Now is, listen up. Here it is. Here's a video. That's that. So, FSE Now on the App Store. FSE Now. Let me see. Oh, there we go. So here, go download it. App Store, Apple App Store, Google Play Store. It's free. Go to freesaloneducation.com if you need to go there, and you can get the link, or just type in FSE Now, and you will find it on the App Store. Okay. Thanks, Matt. Let's dance. I think we talked about dancing yesterday and the fact that I don't do it. So we won't dance, but I'm glad you like the music. You guys dance. You do the dancing. All right. Lynn saying love the app. Lynn, I'm happy to hear that. I know you had some struggles getting on there, but I'm glad you're on it now, and everything's going good. The community is going to get even bigger, better, stronger. We're now thinking about incorporating this live stream into the app, so you'll get an alert on the app when I go live. You can chat with your profile on the app, so your hairdresser profile within the app, you can chat. So a lot of cool things coming. So just keep watching, download it. Create your profile. All right. I know the numbers get worse when I start talking, so we're going to get back into some education. Here is this is a video I created with one of my guests in the salon. You guys love it when it's a real person. She has curly red hair, super curly red hair. I did a balayage technique using some Joico color. They're free play, hand painting, some highlights in her hair, and I really brightened it up. It turned out really nice, so I wanted to share that with you guys because I like obviously putting out things that that I've created so that I can answer your questions even easier. So here is the video. It's not a super long one, and the technique's not complicated, but it just goes to show I think there's even more freedom in balayaging curly hair, and I'll probably talk about this in the video, but one of my tips that I would give you guys for balayaging curly hair is just to take thicker sections and load on lightener a little bit more, because highlights can get a little lost in curly hair. So if you get a chance, paint it a little bit heavier, take a little bit bigger sections, and you'll see that in this video. I'm not going to talk anymore. Let's watch it. Post your questions in the chat if you have them. Here it is. So to start off today's video, we're going to use Joico Free Play Lightener. This is a clay-based balayage lightener with 30 volume. The sectioning for this technique is super simple, just the basic 4 quadrants. And then I start by taking a diagonal back parting right in the temple area. I'm really going to pop some brightness into that. So I start painting that lightener on. I use kind of a side swipe of the brush and a V shape of the lightener. So highest on the right-hand top side, and then I dip down into the mid shaft, left, and then I go back up on the other side. And then the rest of the sections, you'll see I took a pretty thick, about 1 inch section. On curly hair, I like to take a little bit thicker sections, get a little bit more of a prominent feel to it. So I take a thicker section, then I cut that in half, and then I paint higher towards the face, lower towards the back of the head. The reason I do that is because I really want to brighten up her face, but I don't want to necessarily brighten up that whole panel. So I find if I painted that whole panel, it wouldn't look very natural. I want to see that natural depth kind of working into the head of hair. So just right around the hairline where it would really kind of pop off and the sun would really catch it, that's where I want that brightness, and then I want it to fade out towards the back of the head. So really painting that on. Notice again, I'm taking a thick section, diagonal back, really following that head shape, and then I'm cutting that in half, and I'm painting from brightest and tapering that off to behind the ear. All right, so now we're going to work on to the opposite side, doing the same thing, continuing up the head, diagonal back partings, painting it brightest towards the face, tapering off towards the back, and just really working that lightener through the ends, taking thicker sections, split that in half, and then do your painting. Okay, so now that we've gotten through the right and left side, now we're going to start working into the back. Now the back is more of a freehand technique, not going to take sections. Most of the time in natural hair, the underneath is staying a little bit deeper. So we really just want it to feel like the sun kissed her curls, just brightened it up a little bit. So I just go through and I find those really defined pieces and I pull them out with my fingertips and I just paint that. And I'm going to do that throughout the back of the head, putting that lightener on. Now, if this was just a highlight technique and I wasn't going to tone it down, then I would be a little more careful in the back. So make sure you understand that. This is a quick technique if you just want to brighten somebody up a little bit, add a little dimension to their curl, and then you're going to overlay it with a deeper tone. That's when I would use this technique. Highlighting, I would be a little more careful, probably take it section by section, and go through and add a little bit of separation to each of these pieces. But again, just trying to pop some brightness into those curls, add some definition so when I put that demi color on. So we finish that up. This is my choice for my overlay. It's 8NC Lumishine. This is a demi-permanent liquid hair color. So you're going to see those highlights pop through, right? So we're just going to change a little bit of her natural tone, add some richness in there. She's already got red hair. And then I'm just going to paint this all over it so you get those highlights to pop through as well. So adding those highlights is such a key thing because now you can see that dimension, the movement, those bright pieces, the deep pieces. That's what this technique is all about. So hope you guys can use this. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching. Okay, so this is the thing, guys. We what I want you guys to take from that technique is the fact that we highlighted to then color. So I think too often we highlight and we just highlight to highlight, but I put a level 8 on it. And another thing that we do is that we highlight and then we go to tone with like a level 9, 10. I brought her up to a 9 with that highlighting technique. And then what I did was I brought her back to an 8 as her brightest tone. And then I used the 8NC Joico Lumishine to take the highlight, make it an 8, and then to take the rest of the hair and just add that richness to it and add that tonality to it. So it takes like the overall picture and makes it all work together. What makes great hair color, I think, and I'm not a colorist. I like cutting hair the most, but I like to say I cut hair because I love it and I would do it for free. I color hair to make money. So, but I still study color and understanding that there's, you know, the all the tones have to match and go together. If you highlight somebody and those highlight tones don't go with their base tone, then it looks unmatched. It doesn't look finished. So you go in, you overlay it with a demi color, and then that gives you your overall picture. So I hope that that's what you took from that video. Also the highlight technique, obviously it was very free form. I'm more precise in haircutting than I am in color. I like kind of that freedom, the flow. I don't think there's anything natural about super stacked foils and all that, even though I'm getting proved wrong on that watching Jamie Dana's videos. But you can really create some natural stuff with foil. But for me, I just love the hand painting and then overall going through and toning it. It's just like doing this shag haircut that we did, taking it, and I just didn't feel like the cut was finished until I put that rose gold color over it, and that just kind of brought it all together. So color to me is like that finishing touch. It accents the haircut so well, and that's what it's all about. Gene saying, I want to be a colorist. You probably are a colorist, that's the thing. Like a lot of people, you'll work forever just getting better and better and better. All of us have been coloring hair forever. So you're a colorist from day one, I think, but just how good are you? So just keep practicing, keep learning, but understanding tone, understanding the face, skin tones and all of that. Still trying to find a great video on understanding skin tones. I did see a couple that kind of sparked some interest for me, but I'm just studying up on it, so maybe I know a little bit more to share with you guys. But love both. I refuse to limit my license. Matt is very chill with his coloring. I like it. Jamie Dana is so talented. Yep. Rainbow, you got it. I'm pretty chill all around, to be honest. I'm not too high strung on anything. Nothing really. I try not to get too stressed, right? Love the rose gold. Brenda, thank you. Susan, clients aren't shocked with the blonde. It will lighten over time. Cool. Starlight says it's really hard for me to understand color. I think color comes, like, some people have an easier time with color and some people have a easier time with cutting. So for me, cutting has always made sense. Coloring kind of always made sense too. I just never really studied it as much as I did cutting. I studied color a lot because I was an educator for Paul Mitchell for 10 years and I did a lot of color classes. And when I say I colored hair to make money, well, you got paid the most to do color classes. And still to this day, which is pretty funny, for me it's funny, is that hair companies, they will give you more money if you do color because they sell color. They don't sell haircuts. So you got to color hair. But you can always tie it into your passion, which is what I try to do. I take hair color and I enhance my haircuts with it. So that for me works. So you got to finagle the situation to fit your needs, but also feed your family, right? Try Color Me Beautiful program for skin tones. That's cool, Brenda. I'll check that out. I love to learn, and the more I see, the more I learn. You got it, Susan. That's right. All right, cool. Can you give what color you used, Matt? So Desi, if you're just tuning in, I used Free Play, which is a clay-based lightener from Joico in this video, and I used 8NC, which is a liquid demi from Joico Lumishine, and I overlaid that with 5 volume for the end result. Most of the time, I overlay that on pretty much dry hair. So it doesn't have to be fully dry, but I try to get the excess water out so I don't dilute any of the formula. All right, cool. So I got a couple, let's see what else I got for you guys. So I have an asymmetrical. This is on extra curly hair. This is a video that I created. Stirred up some controversy a little bit, but for me, I love it because it has a precision to it, but it's also super curly. It's asymmetrical. It's short, which I think will help some people because a lot of people freak out when they cut super curly hair short. So I think you're going to take a lot from this video. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Ask any questions that you have. I'll answer them when the video is over. This is a nice 5-minute video, nothing too long, and I think you're going to like it. So check it out.
Before we start the haircut, I want to go over the tools I'm going to use, starting with our leave-in conditioner from Paul Mitchell. This is Full Circle. It's a nice thick leave-in conditioner. Helps me get through the hair. Then I'm going to use the Ergo paddle brush to detangle the hair. So I'm going to brush through it. This brush works really well to get the tangles out and get me ready for hair cutting. I'm going to use my DB20 scissor from Mizutani. It's my favorite scissor. It's a 5.7-inch scissor, great for precision cutting. Also, I'm going to use it for dry cutting later on in the video to show you guys the versatility of that. We're using YS Park clips and also our YS Park 339 comb with the little hook on the end. The great thing about YS Park combs is how flexible they are and how strong they are when you're working with them. These combs last forever. They're also heat resistant up to, I believe, 425 degrees. So they will withstand any iron work or anything that you're doing. Pretty much a standard comb in the beauty industry. So we're going to start working in diagonal back section. Right below parietal ridge, I follow the round of the head back to pretty much the occipital bone, then I cross over. This is where I want to work my precision cutting. I also want to work with my tension on the side. So you can see how I stretch the hair out, then I let it go, and then I grab it again and pull back to see exactly where that hair is going to fall when I pull it back with tension. Because the funny thing about curly hair is that when you pull it back, as soon as you let it go, it springs back, right? So you want to make sure that you're cutting it at the right length. So a little test that I do is pull the hair out, let it go, pinch it again, and then pull it out. See where your hand goes, and that's where you should start cutting. All right, so now we're going to continue up the head, taking about a 1/2-inch section of new hair. With curly hair, I don't like to take a lot of hair at once because you'll lose your guide really easy. You don't have that nice solid line to work with. So I want you guys to pay close attention to my elevation. As I work up the head shape, the head curves away from me, so my elevation gets higher so that I remove more weight from the haircut. The lower my elevation, the more the hair is going to stack up. So I wanted to create a nice sleek side to this haircut and then have that disconnection fall over top. So as I work my way around the head, I'm really working with layering, which looks more like a graduation because it's curly hair, but I'm working straight out from the head for the most part as I work my way up the entire head shape to the parietal ridge. So then I just follow the round of the head back, working those layers, using the tight teeth of my comb to have nice tight tension, but understanding that where I'm over directing and pulling that hair out to, where it's going to spring back. So now I've got that all done. I'm going to take the clips out. That's basically, to me, this is like if you were going to shave the side of somebody's head. I just did that little section in a precision form, and then the rest of it I'm going to do all dry cutting. So we're going to go in, I use my Bricato mousse, run that through the hair. Then I'm going to take my paddle brush, brush all the product through the hair. That's a key factor in styling hair, is to make sure that you get the product on every hair strand. So put the product in the hair, brush it through. Then I use a diffuser to slowly dry the hair and create those curls without the frizz. Now I'm going to go in with my DB20 scissor again. I'm going to do dry cutting with this scissor. We're going to do the tease cutting technique, which is a half close of the scissor as you tease into the hair, which will cut the hair, but it gives it a nice soft edge, almost like a point cut look to it, but you're doing it with little chunks of hair at a time. Now the reason I chose the Mizutani DB20 as opposed to the Mizutani Puffin, which is a dry cutting scissor that normally I choose in this situation, is because I wanted to show you guys that the DB20 can do it all. If you're looking for an all-around scissor, this is definitely my go-to. But when you look at dry cutting techniques, the Puffin was designed to do this kind of thing. So as I cut through the hair, it glides through it. The DB20 does a little bit more grip on the hair, which isn't a bad thing, but it can wear down the blade over time when you do this type of technique on dry hair. So I like having the two different scissors because I can use the one only for dry hair, and then I have my other scissor only for precision cutting. So the cool thing about the tease cutting technique as I go through here, it's really just pinching those curls, taking those sections, and you can see how I'm just sculpting the shape on this curly hair. Her hair is going to live curly all the time. If it wasn't going to and she was going to smooth it out, then I would do a little bit more precision cutting, obviously. but because she's going to wear it curly, I love doing the tease cutting technique, creating those curls and that texture and the movement. And you don't want really a precision look with this type of cut. So now I over direct the little bang area. So I just grab chunks of the bang and I tease cut into it. That gives it that pieciness in the front. You can see all the texture around the shape. And I just work my way throughout the entire shape doing the tease cutting technique. Finish it with some spray. You could see our inspiration. Hope you guys love this cut. Definitely let me know if you want to see more.
All right. So there you go. What'd you guys think of that? All right. I can see. I have a guy in his 80s who perms his hair. Susan, that's awesome. So I had a lady. So funny story. And then I don't have. This is going to be a shorter show, obviously, because curly hair videos, I wanted to have like a few. I wanted to talk curly hair, but, you know, people are requesting other things, so I want to play a couple other things for you guys. If you have any definites, let me know in the chat. But otherwise, we're going to get into a page boy cut, which was requested yesterday, and I want to make sure I get that on the show today. But Susan's talking about she has a guy in his 80s who perms his hair. I've had a couple clients that are a little crazy, and I'd love to hear your stories in the chat as well. But when I was in beauty school, I learned this technique called the stroking technique, right? And it's basically you take your scissor, and I've showed it on this show, but you take your scissor and you open it up and you close down, and you just kind of keep working the scissor back and forth, cutting the hair as you come down. Creates this really fun texture. Well, I've never had any shame. Like, I have never, it could just be that I'm in my own mind and I'm just focused on what I want to do. And like, I don't really think about, what happens to anybody else as I'm going for it. But I had this little old lady in beauty school, and I would cut her hair. And when I learned that technique, I did it for the first time on her. And she would also come in and get a perm all the time. So I did that technique. I practiced it. And then when I went to wrap her perm, you guys that have wrapped a perm know that, like, if you don't have a straight line, this is where straight lines really come in handy when you're cutting hair. When you perm it and you have jagged edges and nothing's even in a haircut, it's the worst. So in beauty school, I struggled often with trying to figure out how to do that, how to get the perm rods on there, but we worked it out. Actually, that's a man perm. That's nice. For the teasing technique. Yep. That's why let's see. That's what we dubbed them. Nice. It's a nightmare. I know it is. All right. So I did, there is a shout out I need to make because somebody texted, where is it? Please shout out our school, Hair Professionals Career College in Chicago. We're constantly watching you for online learning during this quarantine. You're helping us. Well, first off, Hair Professionals Career College in Chicago, you guys are the best. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the support and watching the show and learning from the show. Make sure you're all on the app. That's all I ask. You guys are great. And Chicago, I didn't grow up far from there. 3 hours from Chicago. So you're in a good place. You're in a good place. Chicago is one of my favorite places to go, actually. Me and my wife, we love it there. And it's funny because I grew up 3 hours from there my whole life and never went, really. I went once or twice my whole life until I was 21. And now I've been there multiple times since, and now I'm 1,000 miles away. But so shout out to Chicago. Thank you, guys. And then somebody else said, it's Michelle from North Carolina. She's saying, been in the salon for almost a year now, and we have a lot of clients who have really thick hair. Do you have any videos on this? Also, my biggest problem is when it comes to highlights, I have a good amount of blending going on. I've tried smaller sections, but it keeps happening, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Help. Okay, so when it comes to highlights, I have a good amount of bleeding. Okay, I can't read at all. I'm the worst reader there is. So I have she has a problem with bleeding. So smaller sections, it doesn't really matter. So section wise, few things happen when it starts to bleed, right? And bleeding is when you lighten hair, and I'm talking to the people in school. When you lighten hair and the lightener comes out of the foil and puts a hot mark or a bleached spot around the foil, the best way to do it is to make sure it has nothing to do with section size necessarily. It has to do with how you mix your lightener. So a lot of lighteners have a lot of freedom. So you can mix up your lightener, and it could be extra wet. It could be dry. There's different recommendations on lightener, but it's nothing specific. Like hair color is like 1-to-1 or 1.5-to-1. Like it specifically tells you. And lightener, they give you a little bit of freedom. The problem is with that freedom, sometimes when you add a little too much developer, it can get a little wet, or it can start to expand. Some people put it under heat, and it's not supposed to go under heat, so it expands even more. Some people pack their foils too tight. What I mean by that is they'll lay a foil, and then they'll swipe it with the comb. What that does is it pushes lightener, or it tightens the foil too tight. And when you have the foil packed too tight, what's going to happen is the lightener has to go somewhere, because no matter what, it expands, right? It expands as it starts to heat up or whatever it's doing to the hair. So as that expands, it goes out of the foil, and then you end up with those bleed spots. So make sure, 3 things to check. I don't even know if it's 3, but first one is how tight are you packing your foils? Try to do it a little bit less. Don't swipe the foil when it's done. You'll notice like professional foil placers that are really good at it. They just tap the edges and they fold it over, tap the edge, fold it over. They never swipe it, fold it, swipe it, fold it. Some people do. Some people have no problems. That's fine. But if you're having a problem, that's when you need to make an adjustment. So don't do that. Swipe or no swiping. And then the last one would be the way you mix your lightener. Are you mixing it with, just check your ratios. If you're mixing it too much liquid, then maybe you need to back off a little bit. If you're not mixing enough, that could be a problem too. I don't know. But in the past, where I've had issues is if I mix too much developer with the lightener, then I have those issues. And if anybody else has any other question or any other ways to not get bleeding, post that in the chat. I don't have all the answers, so I'd love to hear what you guys think as well. We're all professionals. I'm just opening up this platform, but I like your opinions, because like I said, I don't have all the answers. So and I learn from you guys. So I like seeing tips that you guys have as well. Please do show avoiding hot roots on gray hair for reddish brown level 5. Pretty please. I'm not a pro. Okay. CK Forrester, here's what I'm going to tell you. I don't mind you being here. I don't mind any non-pros being on this. I think education is key to understanding. But the reason you get hot roots is because you're not a pro. All of us pros have created hot roots many times. So there's not one answer to not get hot roots. There's many reasons why you can get hot roots. And the reason that we're professionals is because we've went through all those reasons. So that's what happens. So this is what separates a professional from a non-professional, right? Anybody can watch a tutorial and attempt something. And most people will watch a tutorial and screw it up. And that's the reality. What we did was we dedicated our time to becoming a professional, whether you have a license or not, because some countries you don't need a license, but you've dedicated your time to screwing up and then fixing it and learning from that, right? And you've studied and you watch shows like this, or you watch videos, or you go to classes, and we spend all this time. That's why I'm never afraid of like CK Forrester on the chat. Like, people attempt color, and maybe they're trying to figure it out for themselves because they just maybe financially can't get to a salon, or you never know. You don't know people's situations. What I would say is that, like, so many people get stressed out, like hairdressers get stressed out because they think that like too many people are going to do that and they're not going to have a job. We need to understand as stylists and as professionals that we've spent hours and hours. It's like saying like a professional athlete, right? They play professionally because they spent their entire life training and learning and becoming that professional athlete. I can't watch a YouTube video of what they do and then just over the next 2 weeks learn what they do and then go take their job, right? Like, it's the same. It's the same in every profession. Like, we spend our entire, as somebody that fixes a car, they look at an engine or they hear an engine and they know exactly what's wrong with it. And maybe somebody that's not actually a mechanic could do that because they've spent years doing it. But like, it takes a long time to learn these things. So I know that that's like a weird way to answer that question, but understanding that hot roots come from many different things. Bleeding from foils comes from many different things. And as a professional, you keep making those mistakes and you learn from them. And then you put that into your brain. And then when you have somebody come in, you see that situation, you're like, you know what? I need to do this so I don't get hot roots. And that's what makes us professional. And that's what makes us valuable to salon guests. And that's why most people should find a hairdresser within their budget. There's good hairdressers in every budget. And that's another thing that people need to understand, that maybe there's a super expensive salon that you can't afford, or there's probably a super cheap salon that there's like a diamond in the, like there's like a unbelievable stylist sitting at that cheaper salon because they love it and they just want, that's where they're comfortable and that's where they want to be. Price does not dictate professionalism and education. It doesn't. There's super talented stylists in every salon. There's always a talented stylist. So be on the search. And that's why we have stylistlocator.com, which is what we're doing here. We've got all these professionals on here live, and we're creating this website so that you'll be able to put in your zip code and you'll be able to find a stylist that fits you, that you can send a message to because they're signed up on the app and they have a profile, and then you can have your hair done and you won't have hot roots and it'll be great. And you can come back and celebrate with us, right? Let's see. Practice makes perfect. That's right. That's right, Gene. Yeah. So CK saying, thanks. I'm on lockdown and everything's closed. I totally understand. You should see how jacked up the back of my hair is. I cut the front. I'm always jacking up my hair because I'm impatient and we have a salon and I don't, the time it takes, the half an hour to sit there, like it kind of drives me nuts. But, since this, usually somebody will fix my mistakes that I have and no one's here to fix it. So, the back of my head is not good. I wish I had a video of the back of my head. But the sides I just clean up nice so I can look straight on here. But, yeah, so CK, we feel it. We feel it. Trust me, all of us hairdressers are losing our minds because we want to be back doing people's hair. So I would stay away from hot roots because the worst thing you can do with red hair, reddish brown hair, is put the wrong product in your hair. And what's going to happen is you're not going to be able to get that out. And hairdressers are going to have a hard time getting it out. Or sometimes you put different chemicals in your hair that interacts to our chemicals, and then it can create hot roots. So there you go. And a lot of times, like, the reason you get hot roots from home color is because they'll put, like, to me, I don't know for sure, but I think they add extra power to it, in my mind, to try to get a better result, especially with red hair, to make it a little more vibrant. Because if the underlying tone can lift it to that orange tone and it can deposit a little bit brighter red, then I think they're trying to compensate for the unprofessional side, right? So for people that don't know. So hopefully that makes sense. All right, cool. We're going to go to the Page Boy haircut. I want to share this with you guys. It's not curly, but I wanted to go out with this because it was a request, and that's what the show is really technically all about. So I had a request for it yesterday. It's a cool haircut. It's going to take us out on the show. I'm going to answer some of your questions before I go, but thank you guys so much for hanging in there, having this conversation with me. I got tomorrow coming up. I got Ricardo from Joico is going to be on the show with me, which will be really fun. And we're going to do some hair color. So a lot of cool things coming up. But here is the Page Boy haircut. Enjoy it. Let me pull this off. Yeah. All right. Enjoy the cut.
Here's our haircut inspired by Berlin, cut by Marco. Begin by creating that square zone on the top of the head, using the recession point as a guideline on where to start your sectioning. You're going to create that square zone on top of the head. Each side of your square zone is going to be slightly curved to work with the roundness of the head. This will come into play later in the haircut. Using the corners of your square zone, take another triangular zone in the crown and clip away. This will incorporate that crown area of the head. Make sure it's clipped away nice and clean. Next, divide the hair from front to back. Starting on the left side, you're going to take a horizontal diagonal back section. Groom the hair down. Your fingers are going to be parallel to your section, and you're going to point cut your line. Now, being that this is a horizontal diagonal back section, you are creating a rounded feel to the haircut. Using a low elevation, just make sure that you create that low graduated effect with a soft point cut outline. Once you've gotten through that area in front of the ear, move to just behind the ear. Behind the ear, you're going to work more of a vertical diagonal back section because you are dealing with more hair. Use some of the previously cut hair as your guide, and you're going to create a graduated cutting line in the back of the head. This is going to help build up a little bit of weight. It's also going to help complement the roundness of the head and the natural bone structure of our model. So once again, point cutting your outline, just make sure that the outline remains soft and loose and has a lot of styling opportunities with the end look. Taking parallel sections, still working that vertical diagonal back. Using a low elevation, but also slightly higher than that zone in front of the ear. Just helps to build up a little bit of weight through the shape so that we do get that graduated effect. As you can see, the front should connect to the back. Moving to the opposite side, take a horizontal diagonal back section. Fingers are parallel to your cutting line. So once again, you are cutting that rounded feel. Using the features of your model as a guideline on your choice of length. Super important to make sure that the end result is suitable. Continuing to take those horizontal diagonal back sections and working parallel to your section, point cutting your line to make sure that it remains soft. Last section coming down here, still point cutting about finger thick elevation. That means one finger is touching the face so that you keep that consistent and low. Moving to just behind the ear, you're going to repeat the same thing you did on the other side, working more of a vertical diagonal back section now. Using some of the previously cut hair as a guide, cutting that graduated cutting line. Working parallel, working neat, making sure that I have consistent elevation and over direction so that both sides are consistent. As you can see, point cutting that line. Using the ring finger on the hand holding the hair really gives you a good platform as far as point cutting and making sure it's consistent. And then also using the pinky to stabilize on the neck. Front to back, we have consistency, connection. Now drop down that triangular zone in the crown and take a vertical section. Elevate the hair high and point cut your shape using the roundness of the head as a reference. Continue taking vertical sections and over direct each section to section number 1. Every section is going to be combed all the way to the center of that zone. Point cutting your lines, still keeping it soft on the interior as well. Now move to the other side and you're going to repeat the same process. Moving your body to the other side will make sure that your grooming and your combing is consistent so that you can still continue to comb the hair towards you. Now move to that square zone on the top of the head, Once again, a vertical section from the crown to the front hairline. Elevate the hair high. Point cut a line that is shorter towards the crown and longer towards the front hairline. Continue taking parallel sections, combing the hair towards you. Going to elevate the hair high. Point cut, something that is shorter on the interior, longer on the exterior. So as you can see, the cutting line is going short to long. Shorter in the crown, longer towards the front. As you can see towards the front, based on hair history, you will see some of the previously cut hair from a previous haircut drop out of this section and not get cut. Now move your body to the opposite side of the head and continue and repeat the same process you did on the first side. Cutting short to long. Now in the fringe area, you're going to create a triangular section that will serve as our fringe on our model. Divide that section in half, clip half away. Use a low elevation just past the eyebrow and cut a horizontal flat cutting line. This area you are cutting blunt. We made the decision to cut it blunt so that we do have a bit of strength towards the front. Drop down the remaining portion of the fringe, comb to the same elevation, the same over direction, and cut blunt. As you can see, it leaves a nice strong shape. Looks really nice. Blow dry using a 413, quite loose, allow some of the natural texture to come through. You're going to personalize and refine and point cut as needed towards that front area where we did maintain a lot of that weight. We may need to go through and point cut to create a little bit of space and softness. A lot of point cutting and personalizing is such a visual thing. As you pick up vertical sections, you will notice certain areas have more weight, maybe certain areas have more history, so some areas of your haircut may need more attention than others. So point cut as needed, working vertically to make sure that you create softness, space, and texture in the end result. In the fringe, you can point cut a bit as well if you feel like you need to loosen it up. Using a bit of Awapui Wild Ginger Shine Spray, you're able to create a nice finish on the hair. To really set in the look, you're going to use Awapui Wild Ginger Finishing Spray. As needed, dress and place the hair around the face. And wow, what a transformation. Our haircut inspired by Berlin. Beautiful end result.
All right. So what do you guys think? Let me know. Super cool haircut. I mean, played that guy twice today. So super talented guy. Straight hair, curly hair, does it all. I know it's an old school question, but what's the Dorothy Hamill haircut called? Is it a wedge? Could you show us that cut, Matt? And that's a good one. I would say it might be called a wedge. I don't know. I'm old school, but I'm not quite that old school. But what would be fun is to kind of research that cut, and maybe on a future show, maybe even Monday, I could recreate a modern version of the Dorothy Hamill cut, which would be kind of fun. So we'll see how that goes for sure. What else do you guys want to see coming up? Yeah, wedge, Christina says. All right. Okay. Wedge, triangular graduation. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be super fun. One of the biggest questions I get is, can I do a haircut that fits on an older client? And for me, I've said this before, but like I feel like any haircut can fit anybody as long as it makes sense to their style, like how they are as a person. So it's hard for me to say what an old person haircut is. So it'd be pretty fun to recreate something for sure. Today was a weird numbers day on the show, and I think those of you guys that have been around from the beginning, I did the countdown timer, and I'm wondering, I love the look of it, and it allowed you guys to get logged in, but I wonder if that played a role in YouTube numbers were awesome, but I think in the YouTube like culture, people are very they're used to countdown timers. That makes sense. And you get logged on and it's just there. I think Facebook feeds from the news feed, and they so people like are scrolling and at first they see a countdown timer maybe, or I wonder if it's the curly hair thing. But numbers a little lower on Facebook today. It's definitely interesting. For me, I love studying that stuff. I love trying to figure it out and understand it. Yesterday was incredible numbers. We reached 75,000 people on Facebook because of, I think because Pixie and short haircuts. Curly hair, the curly hair army out there, the people that are like pushing curly hair, they push it hard. But I don't know if it's as big of an audience, or maybe I just don't have that audience because I don't cut curly hair that often. But it's interesting. What do you guys think? Did you guys enjoy this show? Another question to ask. Do you like seeing these subject-based shows like curly hair or short hair or men's hair or whatever it is? Or do you like the mixture of content? Like all the different things. We just kind of feed from all different places. Do you like the mix of it? Let me know. And then I would also say, what is your favorite part of the show? Like, because I want to grow this thing. I want to figure it out. Like, what we can do to make it better. So you guys are the audience. You guys are, my friends at this point, like my online friends. I'm seeing you guys. So let me know, what are you guys enjoying about it, so that we can keep adding more of that and less of the other stuff to keep it growing. Mix it up. All right, cool, Lisa. I like that. Love all of it. Cool. Personally like a theme. All right, Snowden, thanks. Snowden's a funny name. That's a weird movie. It's a good movie. Gretchen, love your videos. Thanks. Sun is out, maybe. Maybe there's more sun today all over. There's more sun here for sure. Let's see. I like how you focus on one thing, let it sink in, and versus trying to recall what was learned that day. That's what I think. Do you like when I do the live, like the live voiceovers? Like when I record a technique and then I talk about it live and play the video. Do you like that? Or do you like the pre-recorded voiceover videos? Thanks, Gene. I appreciate that. I really enjoy pixel cuts. Pixies. Now I have to find that movie. Snowden, you should find that movie and then think about your name after that. Live voiceovers. Cool. Live is nice. Yeah, I like the live too. I've got 2 more videos that I've already filmed because I want to keep doing that. I feel like that keeps us interactive. I don't mind going away and playing videos and stuff, but like basically what happened yesterday was I wanted to find like a wavy shag haircut, and I searched the internet and I found some pretty good ones, but then I spent all my time trying to reach out to these companies and I don't hear anything back, and I'm just like, I can make the video just as good as this video, so why not just film it myself? You explain it more. That's what I think too. And if I slow the videos down, like, so when I did the edit for just the show, I didn't do it as quick. Like I didn't do it as YouTube-y or Facebook-like. So I left more. So it'd be more class-like, slower pace. So felt like you guys would like that. All right, cool. Seems like the voiceover you guys like. Stuff that translates to save time. Condensed cutting. Yes. Live is great. Yeah, condensed cutting is a good one. Maybe I'll do a dedicated show to condensed cutting next week. That'd be really fun. I'll remember. Oh, here, got a pen. Condensed cutting. All right, cool. So condensed cutting next week would be fun. Autocorrect sucks. It's true. Good theme. So easy to go back and find what you want to rewatch. That's the other thing about this show that I was starting to get confused about. The first few episodes, we were so all over the place that I didn't know how you guys would use that as a tool. And now, like, these subject-based classes, like no one's gonna watch this video to see a page boy cut because it's a curly hair video. But at least Hairdresser got to see it, you know, and maybe somebody would discover that at the end. So I think it's fine. Like, it doesn't need to be that searchable, but I don't have to search. You show me. That's good. More razor cuts, please. That's absolutely a good one. Razor cut show would be fun. Trying to get Nick Arojo, to do some video stuff with me. He's master at razor, so I feel like that's a good combo there. All right, cool. Thanks for the show. How are you gonna do after we all go back to work? So Susan, here's a fun thing, and I'll leave you guys on this. This show will go on when you guys go back to work because my work is this. Like, so before the pandemic and the quarantine and all of that, this is what I did every day. Was I would come to my office. I run the salon. Me and my wife own a salon together, and then we both run this company together, Free Salon Education. And Free Salon Education has become, well, it's our only income at this point. But it's a business, even though it's free for you guys. It's not free. We have great sponsors that like Minerva Beauty and Joyco, different companies. So you know. So we have that, and so that's kind of how this works. So I'm going to keep doing this show. I don't know if it's going to be at 12 o'clock. It might be a little bit earlier, maybe around 11 o'clock. I'm not sure. I understand that a lot of you guys will be behind the chair, but you'll have to go back and watch. Some of you guys will. Hopefully, we can figure out the best time. But people watch from all over the world this show. Not a lot of people, but people watch from all over. Somebody from India on there today, Australia. You know, we got people in the U.S. The U.S. has all different time zones, so it's hard to find a perfect time for all of you guys to be on live, but I think we'll figure it out. Lynn's off on Wednesdays and Thursdays, so we'll just do it. We'll definitely do it Wednesday and Thursday. Natalie, you're very welcome. All right, cool. So Italy's watching as well. What's up? Mondays for me. So I'll catch at least one of you guys on each day, right? Starlight, can you do bangs? Yeah, bangs is a good one. So, all right, so here's the thing. So today's show, we're streaming for an hour and 15 minutes. I don't like to go much longer than that. So tomorrow, I've got Ricardo coming in. We're going to do some hair color with him. And then when we come back Monday, we'll focus razors. We'll focus bangs. We'll focus on, what was the other one? I'll look back on the things. But we got a ton of things to focus on next week. We'll be live every day, 12 o'clock Eastern time, right here. And it's beautiful outside for us here in PA, hopefully for you guys as well. If it's not beautiful, then study up. If it's beautiful, get outside, enjoy the day, breathe some fresh air. And what do we say at the end of this show? What do we say, Lynn? It's going to be a great day.
It's gonna be a great day. Chop it, clip it, spray it, flip it.
Lynn will be on tomorrow.
It's gonna be a great
I'll see you guys tomorrow, 12 o'clock. All right,
Chop
thanks,
it,
guys.
Clip it, spray it, flip it. Let me show you the way. It's gonna be a great day. Chop it, clip it, spray it, flip it. I woke up this way. It's gonna be a great day. Chop it, clip it, spray it, flip it.